decided to clear my head by reading a little bit of Gintama. Because Gintama is, it's a little wacky. It's a little fucking nuts. But, I read Lesson 7, and, on one hand, that was nuts. But also, what a story of humanity. What a human tale. About a dad who just wants to see his daughter and make true on a promise even if he can't perfect. It's I look at something like that, I'm like, what the fuck is stopping these people from writing an actually good story? Like, I'm not even kidding. This story takes the minimal amount of time to establish all the necessary details, and in like 20 fucking pages, it's gotten me a story of a dad who wants to make good on his daughter. And it throws in a couple of really fucking whacked, fucked up shit in between. 20 pages of pictures. That's a short story at most. Couple thousand words. If you want to stretch it. A couple of hundred if you do it right. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers can't get anything taken care of in 5,000 words per chapter. 10,000. Anyway. I'm still in the mode of, like, I don't really care. I don't think I'm gonna care for a while. This is really weird when you put it into context. Like, the funny thing about this, in the original, she does seem aware of that. Because, like, in the original, it's literally like she said she'd been in a meeting with the principal, and I can only imagine how the faculty and the student council were reacting to Yadakon's passing. Her mood seemed to lift a little, at least, when she saw Olivia and I both huddled beneath a tree. So, shouldn't she... Why are you writing against her character like that, when that's explicitly stated to be otherwise, and you haven't really changed Lizzo that much? I mean, like, it's honestly fair, because, like, Liz doesn't give that much of a shit about Olivia. Like, sure, you made up a couple of days ago, but that's not that big thing. Let's go talk about the winter formal. You know, you mentioned this, and then you just start talking about the winter formal. Shouldn't you give, like, a little bit more momentum to this? Like, be like, hey, if you want to change topics, we can talk about the winter formal. You know, make clear that you're cognizant of the fact that you're changing the topic and that might not be appropriate, but provide an out if they want to take it. You're allowed to say, hey, here's a topic if you want to talk about it. You don't have to. Fucking normies are so weird. I hate them. All with their implicit instructions and shit. What do you mean, huh? This, you literally knew he was going to do a eulogy. Although I guess oh no, it's supposed to be connected to tissue. That's good. That makes the sentences feel more cohesive. You can just text her. You can just fucking text her this information. Come on. Like, a lot of people say that phones solve a lot of problems, but they can introduce them, too. She could be like, why couldn't you just tell me this in person? I know we're going to be here in the afternoon anyway. Like, unlike Inko, Anon has no reason to ever go home. Because, like, with Inko, there's the idea of, like, your parents are technically home sometimes, and they don't know these people. But for Anon, it's like, your parents would never know, right? Probably glad not to pay for your house anymore. You were reduced to tears yesterday. So don't even pretend. I mean, that's fair enough. Again, Anon probably doesn't give a shit. Nostiko. Sounds like a weird Japanese thing to say. Nostiko. Did the original one ever comment on the fact that there's constant battle happening all the damn time? I always felt like that should have faded into the background as Inko just stopped giving a shit. I appreciate that you managed to make it home without Frostburn, Ben, given the circumstances. All I'm saying is, Bez, you had it pretty bad! Oh, with the scroll press thing. What about you, Ben? How's Ben? He literally just told you that he was thinking about staying home himself. Or am I getting my sentences mixed up? Yeah, he just told you, man. I'm pretty sure it's pretty explicit, like how he's doing, which is not great. So a thing that I think is worth putting on the table is the thing you can do is that because Ben has, he has the mental thing, and he probably has this constructed version of the world in his head that he uses to justify and guide his actions. It'd be interesting to contrast that with the reality of the situation that he's lost control. Like, how much control does he have left, and that weighs on him or something? I don't know. Not for this story per se, but it is a thing that's worth thinking about, putting your brain into. Again, you don't have to spell this shit out when it happens. It's also weird to call something someone tells you a contemplation, because this implies more internal reflection and thinking over telling someone something. I don't know if Yadaka saw through Ben. I mean, I don't think it was all that relevant for the story because, again, Ben wasn't that important. To the point that, like, the reveal towards the end that he's psychotic and all that, the psychoses, it honestly feels a little bit like it didn't exist in those early sections where Yadaka was present. Which is a weird thing to say, but again, my theories about Wani is that it was a bit hogwash and slapdash in places. So the cohesive smoothing over isn't quite there. I mean, you already mentioned this yesterday, right? With the whole assignment? With the whole, like, I tried to do more than the basic assignment, so I fucked up? Boing. You're literally in a lunchroom where people are making noise all around you. I don't know how much they actually would hear you. Like, listen, I've talked to people who have mental problems, right? Who don't think the way that normal people do, in the sense, and a lot of them wouldn't say they're necessarily whole. They would, the way they describe it is more in the sense of, like, it feels like you're removed from humanity. Like, you're over there and humanity is over there. You know, there's a distance between the two of you. There's a part of the experience that's missing, and that fundamentally always distances you. He's neurodivergent! I find it interesting that Olivia never brought this part of Ben up. If I always thought she never knew, because if she did, why wouldn't she just straight up tell Inko or anyone else? What is his condition anyway? No worse people to come to it. Fair enough, man. There were gaps in my ability to socialize. Again, are we talking about a psychopath, or are we talking about someone who suffers from psychoses? Because those are different words that mean different things to different people. Because psychotic refers to a psychosis. And a psychosis is that you lose touch with reality. Hold up. Here we go. A severe mental condition in which thoughts and emotions are so affected that contact is lost with external reality. Which, yeah, but if you're talking about a psychopath, again, that's a different thing. You don't take antipsychotics for that. A psychopath, right, is marked by deficient emotional behaviors, lack of empathy, and poor behavioral controls. AKA, you're just a fucking wild animal that's just lashing all over the place compared to the vast majority of people. The problem is, it's sociopaths that are really smart and try to, like, wiggle their way through stuff and abuse people as a result. This is an interesting little diagram. Sociopathy. May have a weak conscience, quick to anger when confronted with their behavior, often have legal issues or unstable personal lives. Psychopaths lack a conscience, generally do not explode under pressure, only get into relationships to use other people. Which, again, it's not really what Ben has. Sure, Ben kind of pulls people along, but you never get the impression that he exists exclusively to abuse people. And also, you can't really befriend a psychopath, which they do in Ending 4. Like, if Ben is a psychopath, like, straight up, I don't know what to tell you. There is no friend to be made. Like, a psychopath does not care about friendship, does not want to be your friend. Like, you're giving a dog a math degree. What are you going to do with it? What is anyone getting out of it at that point? And I know that sounds cruel, but with some people, that's just how it is. Like, if anything, suffering from psychosis, what he's trying to do is he's trying to avoid. He's trying to give himself a blanket so that if it does ever slip out while people are watching, it's like, oh no, it's just one tiny slip up among so many brighter moments. You know, that kind of stuff. It's how he engages with the world around him. How he keeps himself... I still don't know why everyone insists on giving me a tragedy instead of just making her an asshole. I don't know what to tell you, man. Some people are just assholes. Those exist. You can just be a bully because you want to. Giving every bully a psychological issue just makes bullying into something that's justifiable and acceptable. You're giving it an excuse that it doesn't deserve. The harm is real. Also, you covered up for your fucking girlfriend, man. You can say what you want about her tragedy. I don't think it matters once you start, like, rationalizing it through literally making her problems go away. Again, Anon showing a weird amount of self-awareness. That is you. That is you. That has always been you, Anon. That's quite literally what your shitposting is all about. Why won't you be using Ben? You've already... Like, isn't the irony of the situation, right, that a lot of people tend to look at Ben and they tend to see Ben as this psychotic guy they can just ignore. He's a psychopath and all that stuff. Wouldn't that be the exact right person to just load off into? Because he literally wouldn't even give a shit? Because he can't feel that stuff in a meaningful capacity? Like, of all people! Of course, Anon is, just like in Nothing to Something, the most mature man in the room, and just refuses to make any mishaps, slip-ups. There are no Fs in chat for Anon. There are only Ws. I don't want to write knowing that this is the shit I have to compete with. It's like we're not in the same race, you know? What am I even doing with my life? What am I doing and why am I doing it? Am I having fun? Is this fun? That's not really a thing you do, Ben. If you're going to do anything in the world... Jesus Christ, shut up. You know, Ben, you've become extremely... You've become very open with Anon, I guess. Which would be kind of interesting if, you know, Iadacon's away and now Ben has no one left that sees through him, so he's like, I can make Anon my Iadacon. You know, if you want to make him a psychopath, that would work. It's like he sees every relationship as this pragmatic exchange of goods and services. So he could be like, you know what, Anon, you're Iadacon now, because you saw through me, etc. That'd be an angle to take. Holy shit. Shut up, Anon. Stop it with the wisdom. Why are you 35 years old all of a sudden? You're 18, and you were a fuck-up 3 months ago. Like, at some point, you need to start having your characters fuck up, or I'm like, why are we still talking? He's clearly already done with his character arc. Get this boring man out of my house. Give me someone who chews the scenery at the very least. He's pensive. He's been very penisy after that. You know, after Punch Drunk Gator and everything, and after Nothing to Something, I've come to realize there really is a level of angry I can get at stuff. I mostly got angry at Punch Drunk Gator because it tried to do something that doesn't make any sense, which is... Whatever, let's just move on. It's gonna be great when Punch Drunk Gator updates and I'm like, I forgot everything! I've already forgotten everything! I need to read my own comments to see all the things I said before. Just fucking kiss already. Gain on. I always say anon, but I've heard people say it anon. I don't know which one it is. It's all written, so it's up to interpretation, really. It's your mind that decides the pronunciation. To be honest, I could totally see a section of 4chan having like an entire whatever thread, message board, or whatever that's just people arguing over the pronunciation of shit. And someone started with GIFs, and then it's about how is anon pronounced? And someone's like, you know, like anal. Just went from there. Didn't tear him apart or anything. It was just a fun exercise and whatever. Nice little stretch of the legs, as they say. Sometimes you gotta give yourself a little treat, you know? How is it so dark? Shouldn't... Like, I don't know what to tell you, but Olivia's room is right next to the backyard, like the large glass doors that go into the yard. So technically, as long as it's not too dark outside, anytime you open Olivia's door, you should just be letting in a fuck ton of light. Actually, let's see. Because if the door opens a certain way, I could totally see that making sense. I'm gonna say the old line, I hope someone got fired for that one. Yeah, the door opens towards the sun. But still, apparently it's on the sun side of the house at least some parts of the day, especially in the morning. So yeah, I don't see why her room would be dark after you open the door. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the case in the original game, but like, come on. Also, if you're just opening the door just to peer inside, what are you even doing with your life, man? Anon? Get out of here. Anon. Apparently Deltarune's coming out tomorrow! I don't care. I'm not going to play it for a long while, because I don't actually care all that much. I don't want to play Deltarune right now. I just don't. As much as I like that goofball bullshit, it's like, I don't really care. Like, I think the big problem is that I played Deltarune a long while ago, and then Chapter 2 came out not too long after or whatever, and I was kind of hype. And now it's like, it's been so long, and things have changed so much. And I've had so many thoughts and feelings about that. It's like, what would I get out of Chapter 3 and 4? Like, unless Toby blows my goddamn socks off. I don't know, man. It's the same problem with Fics that take forever to upload. It's like, you know, at some point I gotta go back and revisit everything to remind myself what I like, and I don't know if I can do that. If I could recover those feelings. I'll give you a standing ovation. Oh, yeah, because you couldn't reach up that high. Actually, now that you mentioned that, Olivia's room does have... She has no ceiling lights. Olivia's room has no ceiling lights. She has that long line that's over her bed, and she has the standing one and a couple of candles. But, theoretically, Olivia could actually remove all the bulbs. There is no ceiling light. She's just fucking sniffing the windows. Which Evanescence song is that again? Oh. Why the fuck does she know those lyrics? That shit doesn't come on the fucking radio, does it? By the time I realized how cringe it was, the paint already dried. How are you going to explain this to Randy? That's going to be expensive to fix if the windows can't just be scraped. I mean, it is something to make fun of. It really is, though. Stock of paint thinner. She probably would, you know, just because you keep drooling paint all over the place. What's going on my phone? What were we talking about? What kind of windows does she have again? Oh, they open, yeah, they open to the sides. I wonder if it was a slide up, but if it's to the sides, you can just take care of that. Just open them up, go outside, and then do it there. Most fresh air. College mail? College mail? College mail? Oh, college registration and scholarships offers. Who made these? In the original, especially because of Ending 3, it's kind of implied that no one is doing this. Also, it's like the middle of the year. Why are we doing... This is... Okay, listen. You know, there's a bunch of people out there who like to say, like, man, Ending 4 is a little too nice in both games. I do like Ending 1 in Snoot game because it does a time skip, and at the very least it justifies itself by using a time skip instead of just going to the nice stuff. Whereas here, it does way too much before the school year's over. But what really irks me is, like, you're gonna do this before the formal? We're not even at the formal, and she sends out her... She has college applications taken care of? Who did this? Like, Randy isn't. My god! That's so cringe, as they say. It's not a response, that's a noise! You're worried about why they want you. Somebody even mentioning the contest, Anon. I mean, at that point, that's silly. That contest was 3 years ago. Who fucking cares at this point, right? I mean, I guess, you know, it's your freshman thing. At which point, it's so impressive, of course they're going to mention it. It's up to you, really. Man, I kind of want to play Ion Fury. That game's just so nice. The revolver just has that... The headshots in that game are just... peak. Very well done. You know what I really like, headshots? Fallen Aces. When you shoot a goon in the head and he falls down, and it's a moment where I'm like, holy shit, this feels terrible. I hate myself now. It's so rare for a game to not have like an explosive headshot or this he falls and swings backwards violently. It's just this eyes roll up, falls to his knees, falls over. It is so cruel and human. It's like, oh my god, I just killed an actual human being instead of a prop movie actor. It's terrible. I love it. I love it. I love how it makes me feel like a dirtbag. The game is all about fighting people, and like, sure, you can kill them with axes and knives and shit, but my god, that headshot, just cold, cold. So cold. Oh. No, he fucking didn't. I like how, remember how Anon is having all these problems? He's also mending the bridge between Olivia. Like, Anon's doing everything, and I fucking hate it. Can someone else do something for once? Can Anon not be the fucking main character to the point that he's the nexus of all things that happen? Because in the original game, it always felt like Inko was kind of at the centerpiece of things because, you know, he was the connecting tissue between everyone and our point of view character. Here it feels like Anon's taking on everyone else's job. And he's doing it way too fast! Like, that's been like 2 days! Jesus. Calm down, Anon. You don't have to do it this week. It's not homework. Like, at least Ending 4 had that thing... Like, it was... This is what I mean when I say... And I'm going to say it more often because it really does bear repeating. follow Snoot Games and guideline and take some fucking time. Just flash forward a few weeks. Just let things sink in. Let our minds go, oh, they probably had a conversation about this somewhere in between. Jesus. I will admit, I do like how we're not getting too much emphasis on the fucking window cleaning. This is way better dialogue. Because it's a lot more dialogue and a lot less bullshit I don't give a shit about. You know, I'm gonna wash the window. Who fucking cares? Like, yes, Anon washing the windows is indicative that he is asking Sophia, so he's showing integration of his greater familial context while he's using the paint thinner to take care of a job that Olivia fucked up. He's cleaning up her mistakes for her. Whatever happened to supporting people, Anon? Shouldn't she be cleaning her windows? Oh no, of course not. Because that would... Do you see why I hate this fucking story? It's hammering on about how you support people and you shouldn't solve their problems for them. And then Anon cleans her fucking windows for her and fixes her fucking relationship for her. Is Anon supposed to support her or solve her problems for her? Pick a lane. Why? Every single... Like, I know that Inko is pretty damn rich, but for the most part, Saurians as a whole, as a class, seem to be evenly spread like humans, as far as we can tell. Why would this help? Aren't you in Dino Fornia where it's warmer and naturally would have a higher dinosaur population? Look, there is a high population. Like, why does this mean something? Like, I get the whole, the T-word thing, you know, the trigger stuff. That's one thing, right? That's over there. But that's for, like, a subset. Her fucking dad works for the DOD. In a pretty good position as far as we can tell. The woman part I'm not going to argue, though. There's probably quotas for that. Or at the very least, like, individual scholarships. Because, you know, gotta create some equity. Which is not equality. Are you going to cut your snoot to spite your safe and become some journalist self-hitting? Really? Like, you do know that the reason Fang became androgynous had a lot more to do with Trish and the reinvention of the band and the forced creation of a new personality because Fang didn't know what the fuck to do with it. Like, Fang didn't know what to do with themselves. That's why Fang became... Why Lucy became Fang, because Fang didn't know who they were. So they had to invent something. And Trish was like, hey, this works, I guess. And Fang didn't know what to do with that. That's why Fang became Fang. That's why Lucy became Fang. Oh my god. Are we just gonna tell, hey, you should probably accept this? Oh my god, I'm starting to lose my mind. Not only are we going against the lessons from Snoot Game, we're going against the lessons of Wani. We're going against everything. Woof. I'm actually starting to get to the point where this story is a hypocrite, and that is just magical. Oh. Again, if you're just going to straight up call out endings without really elaborating on the core concept, then I'm starting to run out of things to say. Like, oh, my brain is having so many things to say that it's just tripping over itself like a little idiot. That's the easy fucking answer, Anon. That's not the problem. I wonder if the guy who wrote this clearly thinks Anon is like a god among men, which is just the funniest fucking shit, since that's the entire antithesis of Snoot Game, which is exclusively about how Anon needs to stop being Anon and become a normal human being. But like, this author doesn't seem to get any of the characters in a funny way. In like a way that's just, again, it's starting to become hypocritical with its own messaging. Anon is solving Olivia's problems for her. Just like, the Anon telescopic ears are funny because it's like a narrative conceit trying to solve a problem that shouldn't have to exist. Like, what are we even doing? What are you writing? I know I'm a good artist. You know, I won a fucking contest that's really hard to win in my freshman year, but I'm a good artist, not a great one. You can go under a just operate under a pseudonym, you dumb bastard! What? She says after she pretty much does that herself. I hate this so much. Anon gets so much fucking glazing. Anon is just fucking dipped in frosting at this point. Man is just sugar content, 99%. Just like Mob is 99% mood. So in the thing, it becomes... I remember someone saying, like, the whole point of the comic is, like, the Mob can never be 100%, but then in the manga, he does. That's like the first thing that fucking happens, technically speaking, in terms of plot beats. I don't know. Man, I can't wait to go get some groceries taken care of tomorrow. I don't know. I just feel like, I just feel like it. You know. Don't know what they did with this. This is like store brand paprika chips. It's a fairly common mixture out here. Um, I don't know if it's the same as bell peppers. Feels like it's adjacent, but it has a really different flavor than the one that the other one uses. What are the combinations here? So the whole can, right? The whole can is 200. It's actually pretty mild, all things considered. It's a lot of fat and a lot of carbohydrates. Holy shit, that's a lot of carbohydrates. Surprising amount of salt too. Oh, that's like 1% salt actually. 1.25. That's not all that much. Funnily enough. My legs still hurt. My legs still goddamn hurt. Walking too much. Like I can't even enjoy these two shooting the shit because all I'm thinking about is the author saying they're going to be mourning for longer, and it's like, are they? Feels like everyone's just kind of moving on with their lives. Whoever gets a rock ring veteran. Honestly, I would love it if Anon just wins. As much as I'm giving Anon shit for like winning everything and getting everything he wants, I think that him winning would be kind of great. It's like Olivia gets humbled, which is like nice, you know. It means she got humbled in the fighting game. But here it's like, you know, Anon humbles you. That's a whole different message. And two, character-wise, it makes sense he would. Again, I know they're supposed to say shesh as in session, but I really do feel you should spell it with an H because you're spelling something that is a phonetic abbreviation. Because in the written word, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And yeah, Rockring, because of how like the idea of having shield and having hit points, and I think weapons work differently depending on if you're attacking hit points or shield, right? Like plasma weapons are good. Anyway, that combined with how melee works, Halo was so weird for its time, considering that we had things like Doom and Quake and stuff where you had set hit points, you had to gather it around the map, and things were a bit more arcadey, you know. I don't like that Liv wins. Like as much as I want Olivia to get a fucking win, this is not the win to give her. This is not the win to give Olivia, right? Because Damien and Anon are the gamers in the room. Sure, she games, but she mostly plays fighting games. I don't know how much she gets. She does get involved in that. But I still think that Damien should win on the principle that he does this the most. Anon should win on the principle that he's kind of a fucking nerd and is all he really has. Like, there's an old ancient Chinese saying, attack men on their weaknesses, not their strengths. Or also known as the Shadowrun rule of don't if a guy is good at fighting, don't give him someone that's stronger than him. Give him a lot of mooks to fight. And put the medium strength guys against the people that can't fight. So that they go, oh, thank you for saving me. And then you're in a social situation like, I can't talk. It's like, don't worry, I got this covered. And they adjust their little bow tie. I don't want Olivia to win this. This is not where she should win. Unless you're letting her win, which is just the saddest fucking simping bullshit, which is perfectly on Anon's brand. Woof. Kiss all the time. A real kiss. You mean a French kiss? Hate this. Oh no. Oh, he was fucking simping. Okay, fine. It's so good. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh, that is. God, you fucking asshole. Anna, this is literally the only game you own. She's clearly sucker. I'm pretty sure she has autism. You know, she's supposed to be the Anon of the story. What you didn't realize is that veteran was just a fancy way of saying wasted several thousand hours. Girlie, it wasn't with friends. There was nothing friendly. And I'm fucking fighting against assholes that are throwing the N-word, they're throwing the gamer word. Ancient defying feats. You can't defy the engine, Anon. I mean, admittedly, that is kind of what glitches and bugs are, right? I guess so. Defying means it's really like you break it to whatever contest. So look for non-portrait. Molding. Would you still love Olivia if she was bald? Quickly. Oh, you jerk! Do you not know the rules? Also, if you mostly played online with assholes, how the hell would you know how to screen cheat easily? That's a skill of its own, my man. I mean, I guess, you could probably integrate it to some extent. Inferior Saurian reflexes. They have inferior reflexes? That's new. I mean, that'd be interesting, right? Because they mentioned that Damien goes with the idea of like humans have only so much attention span. Wouldn't it be neat if that's like, well, they have better reflexes, they respond better to situations, they're more adaptive, and as a result, they appear to have less reflexes because they're spastic about shit. Damien will be Damien's just like, wow, what's all this? Just kiss already. Holy shit. I hate this. I hate how right at the end when I'm like, I'm about to be done, it's like, no. Which one of you beat our little ace? Any thoughts on dinner? Oh, it's the contest coupon. That coupon gets brought up by fucking everyone. It's always such a weird thing to me. Because in context, isn't it kind of weird that Inko gets a coupon, and I get it, right? It's like, oh, we don't want to accept your money. Our friendship isn't about money. Here's a coupon. Oh, I guess our friendship is about money. In a weird, like, again, it's the same with the fucking mug they buy. It's like, money can't buy friends, except in the right context. Money is important for happiness. It's so weird. Let me put this down. I'm gonna sound like a fucking socialist asshole if I say this, but it's a capitalist trying to marry the idea of Christmas with capitalism. Like, let me just lay it out flat for you. It's someone who wants to be about the gesture and the feelings, trying to marry that with money is important. You have to buy status, and they're trying to marry that, and they can't because it's inherently not about that at all. That's just the clothes they wear to pretend they stand for something. Woof. Holy shit! Please don't. Can we get the punch drunk gator, fucking Eotica on haunting dream? I still love that part. It's so stupid. It's great because it's like, what are you doing? It's great. Yeah. You've got my attention. Uh, come on, man. Yeah, it's almost like someone like the problem I have with this is to some extent, yeah, that's kind of the point. But you shouldn't call it out this hard because then it's like, yeah, because the writer fucking wrote it. It's a writer's conceit. This is all you need. This calls out that the writer's being a little jerk, little pansy. Jesus Christ, get out of here. Listen, I like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for the GameCube with the whole swing mechanics and all, but fuck off, Anon. Listen, I don't know how to tell you this. Let me sit you down right there. Let me put my paws. That was 2014? 2014? What? Oh, I'm thinking of Spider-Man 2, I guess. No? Huh? What? Yeah, 2004 there was a movie that was the Sam Raimi one. Man, what a fucking weird world we live in. Anon, do you sure you want to have him watch modern MCU crap? I thought you were against that, but no, that was Sony, the Electro one, right? So let's look up these movies because 2011. I guess Anon could have seen that movie, but he would have been 6 at the time. Neglectful parents, we can accept that. 2017. After calling out the fact that this guy is, talking like Anon isn't a Gen Z guy, at least you're recommending movies that Anon could have reasonably seen. Baby Driver? The baby that drives? That sounds... Why would a baby driving be that exciting? I don't know. I don't see what exactly about a baby makes it so cool. A stunt driver, that's neat. Prepared for mid. course, we're bringing up the and like again. I'm gonna put my little hands down, right? I've talked to someone on YouTube about this. I made a comment to that guy recently, and I let me see if I can find the section that's relevant here. I've got some little notes on my little notepad. I've got so many itty bitty notes. I've got notes. Here we go. I still feel like Inko Baifuke no Hai has such a weird impact because he's at least somewhat proactive, unlike Anon, and well-meaning. He means well. He's also not even not emotionally smart, so his route should be fundamentally different in comparison. This is why I keep saying that keeping the chapters in line in both of these switchovers doesn't really make a lot of sense. It is actually kind of stupid because it assumes these characters will make the same decision. Like, you can work around that with a lot of clever writing, but none of these people are doing that. They're not even justifying the fact that these characters are acting out of line. They just invent monkey brain Anon and call it a day. Which is again why I'm skipping, because this is just like what we've already seen for the most part. I don't really care. We've already seen this. Why are we spelling it out? Shouldn't super observant Anal know this already? I don't even care about the rest of this. Sophia kept throwing me nervous glances. What were you watching again? Baby Driver? Woof. Uh, this is what I mean, right? This is the kind of not self-aware stuff where I'm like, just get your head out of your ass, boomer. You're being such a fucking boomer. Back in my day, the content I watched was so great that it's so much better. Like the mind-numbing stuff he sees online, what I watched was so much better. It's so much better for the kids. Like if they saw actual fucking rape in one of my movies from my era, it'd be so much better than in watching 2 seconds of Baby Shark. It's tone deaf, and you sound like a fucking boomer. Go sit in the corner. Thankful fucking nod. Get out of here, boomer. Shoo. Shoo! I honestly feel here's something I've begun to realize. Because of how heavily this story kind of leans on Anon not being himself, I'm starting to feel this story would work better if it wasn't first person. With a third person perspective, you could constantly comment on the fact that Anon is full of himself, that he's an unreliable narrator, that his perspective on things is wrong. And you could play around with that. You could make the joke that Anon is completely backwards on what's actually going on. Anon interprets her nod as thankful, but in truth, she's actually trying to make sure that he understands that kind of stuff. That'd be great. But no, Anon cannot lose. Anon gets all the Toriyama hand drops, even though he doesn't even need the power boost. It's just so that he can show off. We're still going, and there we are. Jesus, I am out of it. I'm kind of out of it. Does that make sense? I'm just kind of out of it. I think I'm going to go have a sandwich. We're going to read some Gintama. It's just, again, it's fucking stupid as hell, but it's the kind of stupid where I can wake up in the morning and feel good about myself. But reading Made in the Abyss, what a weird ass thing. Then I've been reading some Delicious in Dungeon, and I'm like, man, I wish this kind of did less of the eating stuff, because it sometimes really just shove itself into the way. It's getting better. Maybe not. I don't know. Characterization is a bit mid, all things considered, but fuck it, I like Shenshi. I like that he's... My beard! I don't... This is great. Man, you do not have enough condensed word count to actually give Vinny a fucking mini arc. Also, it's not a mini arc. You're just kind of shoving him off to the side and saying he's better now. It's Houston with an O. Gaming is served. Please. Please. Houston will not listen and respond to you if you don't do that. The fact that our Megadonus thinks that nothing to something is good is just terrifying to me. It terrifies me. Anyway, chapter 16 is Journey Out of the Neat Zone, which I don't even know where we are timeline-wise. The script, here's the thing, right? We haven't actually deviated from the script. It's been jumbled around a little bit, more like. What the fuck even happened in this? Like chapter 15 is where it splits, and it splits in Scalar's office. So where are we? Who even knows? Let's go read the comments. It's just like reading the comments. This is a shorter chapter by the looks of it, so I'm gonna just pound this one out today. Give it a go pounding. Just pounded. Just pounding. I mean, there's a good question to ask, right? If you're porting over the central character, the protagonist, like Anon and Inko, should the appropriate story tones be adapted for them as well? Because Inko's story and Anon's story have a very different thematic narrative vibe to them. So if you were to port Anon over, should it follow the Snoot game flow more than, even though you're keeping the script the same, you're keeping the you know. I'm gonna repeat myself. Why don't I get glazed? Why does everyone who writes garbage get glazed, but I don't? Is this a slop factory? Do I gotta write some sloppy slop for the slop boys in the back? We'll never know. I'm glad it's at the end of a 45 video where no one who actually would give me shit for this would ever come. But if you would give me shit for this and you did make it to the end of this, come on. I'll give you a free shot. Come on. Just let me have it. You know we're both ready for it. We're both kinda waiting for it. We're all kinda feeling it. We're kinda feeling, you know. Low down our stomach. Let me look at the polls. Because the polls have evened out, and I fucking hate this. Tory game and nothing else matters. We are 12 votes, and both have 42%, with 70% going to sugar and cyanide. I almost want to take time around or sugar and cyanide, just to fuck off anyone who just screw the majority. Maybe I should get one of those ranked voting ones. Those work a little better. Man, I really would love it if things went back to normal and I could actually just start reading and enjoying shit again. That'd be great. I could just put my little leggies up and enjoy life instead of getting angry all the time. Like, again, I don't like this. I don't like being mad. I don't like screaming. I don't like just saying that shit sucks. You know, that's not what I wake up for. I don't want this. I feel like I'm betrayed. I've been betrayed. I'm just a sad little man. Just a sad little guy. Just a little dude. You know. Next time, journey out of the neat comfort zone. I don't like that title. But I'll give you this much. If between Olivia and Anon, this is probably the place where most of that 4chan garbage would spill out onto the streets. Because Fang always kind of pushed back to that. Always kind of kept it at bay. Because Lucy doesn't really like that stuff. But just going to put on my little feet and take a little nap. Bye-bye.